from me. Okay, there we go. I think we're recording and we're doing this, so we should be good to go. I will share my screen next, and then my 100 tabs. What do I want? That one. I want this one. Okay. Should be good to go there. That goes away. Yes-ish. Okay. So, welcome. April. I can't believe we're already in April. It's a little bit insane that this month has gone so fast. Like the whole last month and everything. It's just bonkers how quickly the school year entirely is going. So thank you for coming and being here. It makes a difference when we have parents get involved. For enrollment and promoting Raven, our new enrollment is open. Re-enrollment is still open if anybody didn't get re-enrolled during our early promotional, time for incentives and that kind of stuff. And something we found is that word of mouth from parents is some of the best way of spreading the word. Like the way that we get more people than anything else is by happy parents telling, people asking, talking, hey, what should I do? I'm considering homeschool, or hey, I'm struggling in the local school, looking for other options. Like parents telling them about their success stories with Raven is where we get the most of them. And when you look at our current enrollments, right now we have 206 re-enrolled students and 18 new enrolls. So we're about the same on the number of new enrolls that have signed up at this point as last year, but we're 48 fewer re-enrolls than last year at this time. And something we found when we were calling people for re-enrollment and doing that whole big enrollment push, we have a lot of people leaving the state, moving out of not just Juneau, but moving out of the state. We have quite a few that have decided to go back to the local school for one reason or another. We've had a lot of dual enroll students in the past with the private school, and some of them either going full-time just private or going back to the public school. It was really interesting. Those were some of the biggest things of people leaving the state or returning to the public school because it wasn't quite working out for them. So that means we've got a lot of opportunity for bringing in new families to try to get our numbers up to where we're at. One thing with everything we've been doing is our funding, our everything is based on student enrollment. So trying to keep going in the upward direction and, getting more families enrolled and that kind of stuff helps us with being able to move on forward with more fun stuff, activities, events, staffing, all that kind of stuff. We don't want to go backwards on that process. So
it's 206 are re-enrolled.
Yep.
Plus 18.
2 new enrolls. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So overall, we've got about the same amount of new enrolls right now as we did last year at this time, but we're a lot lower on the re-enrolled students. So overall, we're about 50 students less than last year at this time but most of them are in that re-enrollment category in that sense. I just thought it'd be interesting to look at it in that way of we're about the same as last year with the new enrolls, but since our re-enrolls are so much less, we want to try and draw in some more new enrolls to pick up that, amount. We've also got, a number of students that are graduating. We have 4 or 5 juniors even that are graduating this year. So that's a pretty big number of juniors that aren't then re-enrolling because they're graduating, which is a great thing, We're not sad about that, but that just means that's another amount that's, lesser. So any amount that you can, promote Raven, talk about it. We were talking about doing an open house in the spring to try and promote it with potential enrollments and things. We haven't quite chosen a date, time, that kind of thing. We were looking at our staff meeting yesterday, but I don't think we settled on anything really.
Yeah.
We talked about maybe the option of combining it with our curriculum share in June for kind of doing a combined event to have returning families coming also and that kind of stuff, but want to make sure that we're doing stuff that will draw people in. Our open house in August is really fun, but it's all kind of welcoming back all those who are already enrolled and doing fun stuff to sign up for activities and kind of kicking off the year and that kind of stuff. So it's more of an open house of like
Kicking off
the year than like reaching out to prospective enrollments specifically to try and draw them in of like, hey, you're considering homeschool, come talk to us, let us tell you what we're about and that kind of thing.
When are you thinking of doing it?
Well, we were talking about sometime in May or early June. Our options are limited for June, so May, typically we've tried to avoid things in May, but it may be, you know, either we combine it with our curriculum share in June if we can find a good date for that, or we do it in May, like mid-May. There were a couple of date options we were looking at, potentially like a Monday evening, or usually we've done it like 4 to 6 p.m. so that way families that work, like dad that works, could come also to see the office and meet the staff and that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we hadn't quite settled on, you know, something specific.
Okay. I just think with military families moving.
Yeah. What time is a good time? When does that happen usually?
So it's the summer, so it's, I mean,
Like
they're
later,
looking
like-
like August,
Oh, okay.
which is a little bit too late, probably, but
Well, I mean, we do have our open house in August that they could certainly come to. They don't
Yeah.
have to be enrolled to come to that, but usually it's kind of that kickoff of the year, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking now, like, so I keep sending them
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
But that's just virtually as far as coming into the office,
Right.
so,
Right,
which is fine.
yeah, okay.
Well, then maybe, that being said, if like people are looking like when they're here like in August or finally here, maybe like we just need to have the open house earlier.
Earlier in August,
Mhm.
right. Cause typically we've done it like in the 20-something range, like a week
Yeah.
before school kind of gets going.
Yeah.
I've tried to make sure I avoided the idea homeschool retreat, because that's right around that time also. And one or 2 years, I accidentally planned it for the same day as everybody was out there, and I was like, well, that's a bummer.
Mhm.
So I've been very careful not to do it then, but maybe we could just do it on the other side of it, like before the idea retreat versus after it.
Yeah, I will say most families too that move are trying to move in like later June, early July-ish
Okay.
to be able to get settled
Right,
before school starts.
sure.
I mean,
Sure.
that's their goal, it doesn't always work out,
So
but-
maybe we look at something more in July for an open house for new stuff. I mean, we've done it in the spring, but we haven't had a whole lot of people come.
Okay.
So that's where it's like, what would actually be a good time? You know, it seemed like people were wanting to start choosing school stuff in the spring, but maybe if that's not the case and it's more like over the summer when more military will be coming in.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's hard with the summer to know when people are traveling, when they're doing stuff, you know.
It is, yeah, it's hard to commit to a July thing, so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we always
And then that's
kind of
also
say.
like just catering to the small military community, so whatever
Well,
works best, like.
Yeah, but if that's where, you know, there's a turnover and that's where people, I know Liz was wanting to try and target like the kindergarten, incoming kindergarten kind of thing, but I don't know how to reach those people if they're not like in a system anywhere. Like, how do you find out?
You'd have to like send out like flyers to like, well, Glacier, like Glacier Valley,
They do it right this time of year, they're like, come and visit for kindergarten enrollment, and they do
Yeah.
a screener and
But like, how do they know who to send?
Yeah, I'm like, that's way back when.
But like, how do they
mostly they're targeting their
Advertise.
families there.
that are already enrolled?
In their neighborhood.
Right,
So it's on the website,
right,
they might have something in the newspaper.
okay.
So
I mean, we're doing our kindergarten graduation in May, on May 29th. I don't know if we wanted to combine something with that of like, we've got our kindergarten graduation and then a kindergarten open house for like, hey, come see how fun this is for our kindergarten graduates, celebrate those who have completed kindergarten and get excited about going into kindergarten next year. I don't know if that would be a way to kind of mesh them together. I don't know. Anyway, kind of ideas, if you think of
Yeah.
something or know of a way that would be good for spreading the word, let us know. As far as assessments go, our spring AK star testing is done. Oh, I made this agenda last week. The scores will be shared soon. The scores have been shared. I meant to come on here and I put it as it will be shared when I was making it, but as of now, they've already all been shared out. So I got that task done on Monday, which was awesome to get them sent out so quickly. We had a quiet moment. So the summative end of year, portion of the questions comes on a different report that comes at some point in the fall. And it's received by our district testing coordinator and then distributed from Fairbanks to all the families. So I don't know exactly when that portion will be, but you can already use the math and language arts map portion of the scores because I got those all sent out for being able to,
So there is another portion that comes out in the fall.
Yes, yeah, because there's two different types of questions that are included on the tests. There's the adaptive map ones that adjust based on how they're doing. That's what I already sent you the results of. And there's the summative end of year, like by the end of this grade, you should know XYZ things. Those ones are on the other test. And so if you look at the map scores, it's really cool on one of, it specifically calls attention to it on the parent report over in the right-hand box. It'll say like, your student is expected to score as proficient, not proficient or needs, no, what is it? I can't remember the terms that they use now. Proficient is the one of like, yes, they're doing well, but there's like,
Above or advanced?
there's like advanced and there's one that's like, progressing or something like it's below, but they like made it a gentler name. But so on that report, and it's on a different spot on the other one. It's over on the left-hand side somewhere where it says like on the AK star, your student would be expected to get such and such results. So based on how they did on the map testing, it gives you a projection of probably how they did on the AK star portion as like a little preview. In advance, like based on how your kid did, they are likely to get this score on the questions that they did of that portion. So if you look at it, it's kind of in italics and a little bit small, so it doesn't stand out specifically. And another thing to look at on it between the like bar graphs and the line graphs, the bar graph option has a comparison period of fall to spring, so you can see the growth just for this school year. The line graphs have a comparison period of spring to spring, so you can see from last spring's testing to this spring's testing, because those testings are a little bit different because you're not doing it at home in your own stuff, it's under these conditions. So that way you can kind of see both comparison types. You can see how did they do this year for their own personal growth and how did they do from last year's spring testing to this year's spring testing. So there's kind of like those two different comparison periods that I like to put on there so you can see the difference between them. And if anybody has questions about any of the scores, the teachers are happy to talk with you about it, look at it. I'm happy to help, that kind of stuff. So that was nice to get that all checked off the list. And hopefully useful to parents now as they're choosing curriculum and getting ready for next year and stuff and seeing, okay, should we consider making changes? Dibble's end of year testing, do you want to talk about that at all, Liz?
It starts next week. I sent out an email and I think Helen and Joan may have sent my little schedule.
And I've got it ready to go in the weekly newsletter on Friday also.
Okay, great.
With the information.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and that's for, if they've never done it before,
Oh,
they can still do it?
yeah, kindergarten through third grade.
And it's just specifically that kind of reading assessment and stuff. Short, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Depending on the kid.
Yes.
Sometimes it takes longer.
15 minutes-ish. But it's not like a 45-minute test or an hour and a half test like the other stuff. Map testing for the little ones for the K through second will also be next week. I sent out the flyer for that. The goal is to sign it by today so that I can get the spreadsheet sent to our testing coordinator for getting the roster of which kids are wanting to participate. So I have to send that to her by Friday, so I had put today as the deadline to make sure I have a moment of like putting it together and stuff. So if you miss signing up by today, it's not a big deal. I can manually enter students in to get them set up for the testing. It's just that anybody that I include on my roster to her, she does an automatic upload that makes it quicker and easier than me manually entering the kids into the system. So both ways work, but signing up by today makes it easier and less work for me. So, and that's then anybody who got the scores already for their older kids, that same folder that I used for your older kids, I'll put your younger kids' scores into that same folder. And let you know, hey, I added this kid's scores once they're done. So you won't have to get a new, folder, it'll just all be in the same spot. Any questions about assessments? Okay, upcoming activities. The list is a lot shorter than usual if you see this because we're hitting, the summertime when we usually leave off a few different things. The tea party, I'm super excited about. I really hope we can get some good turnout because the last time I looked, we didn't have anybody signed up for it last week. So, but actually the funny thing was when I did that, I realized I hadn't actually sent the flyer out yet. So I was like, seriously, nobody signed up. And then I was like, oh wait, I have to actually send the flyer. So I haven't looked again yet. I'm hoping that we'll have a good turnout because I have a blast with it. Getting to dress up, have the tea, have the stuff. I love those little finger sandwiches that are cucumbers with the cream cheese.
Yeah.
If nobody signs up to bring those, I'm totally gonna make some and bring them because I never make them for myself, but I love them. So I really hope. And at our last PAC meeting, we talked about the poetry aspect and got a couple of recommendations from I know I think it was Sarah Braun mentioned this one. So I got a couple of them for the thing. Forgive me, I meant to do it. False apology poems. It's actually really funny. I flipped through it and read a few different ones. I got Giggling with Rhymes, a collection of poems, haikus, and limericks for kids and their parents. It's really pretty fun, and I want the kids to see this is something you can do. It's a fun way to express yourself. Moonbeams and Rhyme Dreams. This one looked like a cute one also. Poetry for kids. And then this one I thought we could use for a portion of the activity stuff. Giggle-worthy poem prompts for kids. Learn how to write 6 types of poetry with examples, tips, and ideas. So I thought we could have spots for some of the different types of poetry that they could write and do some of that of hey, here's a prompt for this type of a poem. An acrostic. Let's do an acrostic spot. Put a little thing about yourself or free verse. Oh, this one is like an artistic kind where you're drawing with the, a drawing along with your thing, concrete poems. So I thought that would be a fun element to have included with our, poetry tea party and fun little craft and stuff too. We've got a bunch of the masks that we did a few years ago that they decorate like a masquerade sort of a mask. The kids really enjoyed that. And we've got a couple of other options and things too that we could pull out and stuff. So if you haven't signed up yet, we'd love to have you come. And if you have friends to talk to about it, I would hope we would be able to have, back at the other office, we used to pack it out. We'd have 30, 35 people that came to the tea parties. And the last year or two here, we've had not even a dozen, maybe 3 or 4 families. And so it's really tapered off. But along with what I've seen across the board in all of our activities this year, we're heavy on the boy participation. Mm-hmm. And so this is a great girl participation activity. Not that the boys can't come, but everybody is welcome. I think it'd be super cute to see some boys dressed all up in shirt and collared shirt and bow tie or whatever. I mean, I think that would just be hilarious. But one way or the other, we would love to have a good turnout for the tea party, have some fun with that. And we're gonna incorporate some literacy activities in with it also, with the poetry and stuff like what we did with the I Did a Read closing ceremony, how we had the different stations and stuff. There's a literacy grant right now that our school district has where we're supposed to do these different literacy activities for families and students, both for parents and students and stuff. And so we incorporated one of them into that I Did a Read thing. And then we're planning on doing another portion of it with the tea party to have. So we've got kind of the poetry element and some literacy stuff. Mad Libs, we talked about it last month at the meeting, doing some Mad Libs. So I've been looking for some fun Mad Libs. So we can have fun activity stuff along with the tea and the treats and chatting and dressing up and all that. we were just talking a little bit ago about the Idea Curriculum Fair. It's on April 30th, so next week, and we definitely encourage families to attend that. Because if you're not sure of curriculum, or if you want to see, sometimes they've got different discounts going on, a lot of different vendors, there's great workshops, and we can reimburse you for the cost of your entrance fee to get in to attend it. So in the past, I feel like it was like maybe $15 or something. I haven't seen this year.
$20 per family.
20 by family, okay. So, and like, I know there's often a keynote breakfast thingamajiggy too.
It's a lunch thing and
Oh.
it's included this year.
Oh, wow. See, I haven't gotten on their website this year. The last time I looked, all that was posted was the date and none of the details, so.
Yeah,
Well, that's
it's all
really
up
cool.
now, the vendors
Okay.
are on there and everything, so.
Beautiful. So I'll put that in the weekly newsletter. But if you know people, encourage them to go, save their receipt, turn it in for reimbursement, or, if you want, for your entrance fee and stuff. Liz is gonna go for part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of our teachers have liked going in the past to be able to, interact with the vendors and the families and everything too. It's a great time to browse. The next one I'm super excited about is the Amp It Up camp with our math, computer science stuff. It's gonna be 2 full days. The last time I looked, we only had about 10 kids signed up for it out of the 45 that we've got room for.
I'm
So-
guilty, I'm signing up today.
Do
It's
it.
on there.
Yeah. This is funded by a grant that's expiring this year. So we don't know when we'll be able to do something like this again. We've got specialists coming down for teaching both the math and the computer science elements. The kids are switching between them each day, so they're getting some of both. We're gonna do fun stuff for the younger kids too, so that they aren't left out. Because the stuff with the people who are like the specialists who are hired to come is specifically for 3rd through 8th grades. But I'm including stuff for kindergarten to 2nd because I don't want those little ones to be left out. I want them to be able to join in the fun and see all of that cool stuff. So any parents who are able to help with the kindergarten to 2nd grade aspect of stuff, I would love to coordinate with some people to volunteer to even just leave one 1-hour section for the little ones during that time. Math escape room, computer science escape room, hour of code, unplugged activities, Rube Goldberg machines, Kahoot games, driving the little Sphero balls around with the iPads. There's so many fun options, and I am happy to get the stuff all ready, put together, help you help have everything ready for you to be the one kind of supervising and running it, but not having to do a ton of preparatory work or working with me to get it prepped. We did it 2 years ago, and I ended up running almost all of the kindergarten to 2nd grade stuff because the people I had lined up fell through a week before. I had fun with them, but it meant I couldn't supervise and manage and take pictures and do a variety of other things, that would have been good for that oversight, making sure everything was running well. We've got brag tags again for each of the sections that they participate in. So they'll earn fun little brag tags for the overall event and for each of the different segments that they come and participate in. So we recognize that sometimes you might already have, a sport commitment or a piano lesson or something during that time. So we encourage families to be here for the whole time. But if you have to, grab your kid to run them to this thing or that thing, it's totally fine if they, we want them to be here as much as they can. But we also want to fill it up to have a good showing for the grant that we're actually having a lot of kids, doing what we're providing. So there's kind of that balance. I'm like, okay, you can't make it the whole time, that's okay, come as much as you can. We'll feed you lunch and all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't taken a look, do that. I should send the flyer out again. Maybe I'll send that tomorrow or something to be like, hey, it's coming up pretty quick. Sign up,
I'm signing.
So, yay! Those are some of those big things that are coming up. So some of the things that I've had in the past on our agendas that I wanted to kind of put out there and find out what level of interest there might be. Historically, we've done a Pottery with Louise event in the spring, for making Mother's Day, this thing or that thing. So I wanted to see, is there still interest? Should I reach out to Louise and see if we could do that? Or we did that bisque activity that seemed like it was a big hit. Lots of people came out for that. Do we want to coordinate another bisque thing? It was very full.
Yeah, too many people show up for it.
Right.
I would vote for Louise Louise, because we didn't do it last year. We missed a year, 2 years I think.
Has it? Okay,
I'm 90% sure.
okay.
They didn't do it, because I think, yes, because Charlotte would have been old enough last year as a kindergartner, and she didn't
And we didn't,
make it.
okay,
So that'd be my vote,
okay,
because they actually painting is
yes,
lovely.
right, yes, but because of the making of
Like
it,
a weird
yes.
looking vase, or like,
Yes.
but you love it.
Right,
Where
right.
is this at? That's so fun.
Here at our office.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here does
Yeah.
ceramics.
Cool.
Yeah, so we had the tables all set up, and the way we did it last, I thought it was last year, but it must have been 2 years ago then. We had 2 different age groupings, because what we found before when we did it all together, she went really slow on the directions and instructions, because there were some kids who were like taking a long time and not following and that kind of stuff, but then the kids that were like quicker were like, okay, now what,
Okay.
kind of stuff. And so the last time we did it, we split it into 2 different age groupings, and it worked much better. And it was a little bit smaller for each group then, so she was able to manage it better. So she's lovely. She teaches a lot of different pottery classes. She's got her own kiln at her house and stuff. So
Oh, cool.
the last time we did it in the spring, we did Mother's Day, like pots. You could either do some sort of it was a
Still
pot.
have them.
It was a pot.
Whole plants of them.
Yes,
Oh,
and then
fun.
and we did a follow-up after, so first they made them. Yes, it was a 3-parter. They made them, she baked them, came back and glazed them, she baked them, and then when they came back done, we potted plants in them, and so we bought little flowers and things, and so they came and filled them with flowers, so it was really fun.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Okay, so I'll reach out to Louise then and see about if we can coordinate that. That was something we ended up doing leading up to Mother's Day, but isn't Mother's Day the beginning of May?
It's the 10th.
The 10th, so I don't know that we'll have it done in time for Mother's Day, but that's okay. It can just be a spring, thing, because I don't think we could get it done in time for Mother's Day exactly, but spring plant pot thing. Yeah, I'll see what her schedule looks like.
Yeah.
But I will reach out to her, because it was really fun,
Yes,
and it was
definitely.
really sweet with the flowers and everything, and I'm,
Yes.
okay, good.
That's awesome.
For the spring picnic, I put date ideas as a question mark on here, but at our staff meeting yesterday, we talked about June, what day was it? Wednesday, June, Wednesday, June 10th.
It's birthday.
Oh.
We won't be here. We're not working. No, we
We typically do it in June, and I'm gonna be gone the first week of June to California visiting my mom, and then, so the second week of June, we have only a couple of days. Before then, we don't have a single time when all of us are in the office together at the same time, so we were looking at it in June 10th. I get back in the office on the 9th. So
Oh
it's
my
like the
goodness.
9th or the 10th. So the 9th gives me a day to make sure everything is ready before we do it on the 10th. So I'm gonna call, or not call, I'm gonna look at the reservation thing for Rec to get the Raven shelter, and put that in. We talked about it yesterday, but yesterday was bonkers, like Tuesdays are. So I didn't have a chance to reserve it yet, but that's the date we're looking at for that spring picnic, end of year extravaganza and stuff. And we like inviting new signups to that also, and that kind of thing. Even, like, hey, you've just signed up, come meet some of our current families, see what kind of fun stuff we do, get involved, that kind of thing. And it's like 11 or 11:30 to 1 or 1:30, somewhere right in there, so it's kind of like over that lunchtime. And sometimes even dads who work have come out to it and, popped over and had lunch and headed back and stuff, so pretty fun. Curriculum share in June, same kind of issue there with the when do we do it, and I was wondering if maybe right in that week, whether it's June 9th,
Very
10th,
next
11th, like the day before or the day after kind of a thing. Thursday is often a good day for it. We've done stuff with coffee and curriculum in the morning. I've had drinks and bring your coffee. I felt like there was something else. It was three things: coffee, curriculum, and cookies. Yeah, something. Yeah. So I don't know. We try not to do it too early because we don't want people to try and get rid of their curriculum before they're done with it. You know, like you've submitted your progress reports, all that kind of stuff. Now, you know, if you want to clear out your stuff, get rid of it, this is a great time to give away anything you don't want and try and get some new stuff that you do want before you start buying everything. You know, see what is available before you purchase stuff. So that's typically why we've done it right at that beginning of June time frame. We don't have to have all the teachers in the office for it necessarily. We try and encourage parents to come and that kind of thing. So we could look at a little bit later if we wanted it to not be the same week. But if we want to try and combine it with an open house thing, again, how do we want to do that? I don't know. Any thoughts?
I've gone for all of
All of
June.
it. So June is out for
I'll
you.
take that off.
Right.
Which,
My vote is,
that time.
That week, okay.
that's my vote.
You're gone for a lot of June too.
Oh my gosh, our summer got crazy really fast.
Ours did too.
I'm
I
like,
was like, where is it going?
how did
It's
this
gone.
happen? It's gone. It's over. It's done. It's practically August.
People are like, you wanna meet? I was like, yeah, August 21st.
I know. I know,
Sorry.
Sam, I'm like, how
Wait.
did we get here?
Yeah.
Ah.
Arboretum field trip, is there interest in doing something like that, or should we wait till the fall? Like early July, August-y kind of
I
stuff?
would vote maybe the tail, like maybe the last week of July, maybe beginning of August. I'll try to do it a little earlier this year.
Right.
At least with more vegetation. It'll be
Yes,
different. And she was
yes.
like, oh yeah, come at different times
Right.
because there'll be other things to talk
Okay.
about.
It was fun last year.
Yeah.
It was cool, and she did a great job.
Yeah.
Along the same line, I was actually talking to Bobby Everly
Oh, I
yesterday
didn't
about
think about
going
that.
to Peterson Hill Farm
Yes.
for a tour. And she said that, and this is for later, but to check back with her because her peak season is July, August, September. Because she's like, there's nothing to look at right now.
Right.
Of course. But
That would be fun. I had never thought of them.
yeah, so she could do a tour and talk about bugs and things. She said she's done it with a preschooler.
Right.
We can talk about too, she said like for about $10 per person, she
I could do
they
it.
can do bouquets.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
They do that in our Delta Junction office. They've got a little flower farm thing. And they do a similar sort of a thing, but they do these like, I don't know if there were two different options, but she said it was like $50 for the like bouquet, hanging basket, something or other thing that they do. But I was like, that's expensive. But yeah, if she could do something like that, that would be so fun.
She said, yeah, between like $10 and $15, like maybe 15 kids.
Yeah, I could totally see families being cool with
So,
that.
however we, so I said, that's great, I just wanted to feel it out and then I'll get back.
Yeah, knowing peak season and stuff, and I wonder if
Yeah.
that's gonna be, if it's gonna be a little bit later this year with how late all the snow and the getting stuff in the ground and everything like that.
It's supposed to warm up, but.
Yeah, yeah. And Glacier Gardens is another one that we've done here and there. Usually they've worked us in when they're doing, like, when they've got a slow or no cruise ship day.
Okay.
There's some days where they don't have people coming and they've given us a tour. It's really fun. Have you ever been?
I haven't, it's on my list that I wanna go.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And it's been
I
a
keep waiting for a field trip there,
couple
I'm not
years.
gonna lie.
Yes, no, it's been a little bit. So I need to reach out to her because a lot of that one goes along with what their schedule looks like, and it is a little bit of a short notice kind of a one because of when they know their schedule of tours and things with the cruises. So, but they do know like which days don't have a lot. So we should be able to get that.
My vote would be maybe, this is a don't depend on them, like the first, I just noticed signing up my kids for things, like the first 2 weeks of June, there's like nothing.
Oh.
And then like all the camps, like Echo Ranch and like Lego Camp, they don't start till 15th.
That's cause school doesn't get out, right?
We're prepping for the camps after school.
Yeah, school ends May.
Oh, does it?
Like
It's Alaska,
20.
not Oregon.
Yeah, before,
Yeah.
Is it before Memorial Day?
Yeah.
It's just weird, cause I remember I sent a kid out to Echo Ranch on Memorial Day.
The camp schedule was very different this year with
It
Echo Ranch.
is weird, cause like there's like.
Where Memorial Day falls is different.
It's kind of early,
Yeah,
but.
because there's
anyway,
like a whole week after Memorial Day in May still.
Right, it's really weird.
It's very strange.
It's very
Yeah.
throwing me off. Anyway,
Anytime
yeah.
before June 9th, I'm good.
Anytime before June 9th.
well, anyway, so that was just my 2 cents of like, just, I mean,
but it'd be fun to see with them what's available. And same thing, Guardian Flight, Airlift Northwest, that has varied kind of over the summertime of when they could do it, when it's available, when, so those are the airlift, emergency medevac places. And so in the past, we've had a Raven parent who was a pilot and a Raven parent who was a medic nurse with them. And so they both worked together to show the kids both things. So they split the group in half, and half of them went and looked at the plane and half of them did the medical stuff, and then they swapped. I've lost my parents who were with them doing that contacts, but that's not to say we couldn't reach out to them in general and say, hey, could we do another field trip there? Even though we don't have parents who are working for you anymore, that made it easy, kind of like we've got a parent who's on a firefighter, so he makes it really easy to sign up for, get those things coordinated. But we can still, reach out. I do know a pilot for Brittany flies for them for airlift. So I do at least know one pilot, and I've talked to her before about it, and she's like, I'd be happy to do that. So, I could talk to her again about, hey, could we do this something, even like July or what?
They do it once, right?
She's helped off and on with one.
Yeah.
Our neighbor works, I know two different guys, sort of. One of our neighbors works for one, I just don't know which one.
Yeah.
Our neighbor is Jacob Fisher. He works for the same one as Brittany, and he's a mechanic there. So we can probably get it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a fun one. It's neat for the kids to see that stuff. And then, have you had any contact with Brian Weed about the Last Chance Mining, Juneau's Hidden History stuff? Because he was all for doing more of those things for us, the adventures and stuff. Tanya had coordinated 1 or 2 with him. Yeah, so if you don't have his contact information, I can look it up, because I know that I was involved in that somehow. But they were pretty fun, and it needed to be snow melted and that kind of stuff for doing the adventure. So it might be that that's a little bit more of a later time too, but it could be either May or June or something. So those are all fun things that are potentials. We'll try and work on them. And if you have other ideas for, hey, have we ever thought about going here or doing that? Fairbanks just accidentally sent out their cookie decorating thing to everybody instead of just to their families. It was during our admin meeting, and she was trying to multitask, and so she comes off meeting, she's like, sorry guys, I just messed up. I was trying to multitask and do something while we were doing this meeting, and I just sent all of your families a flyer that was only supposed to go to ours.
So funny.
But the interesting thing was, several people called or emailed back right away. And we're like, can we do that? Wanting to sign up. And they're like, your sign up link isn't working, because she turned it off as soon as she realized her mistake, So she wasn't having people from all the different offices signing up. So seeing that there was interest in that, even though it was going to cost $50 for 9 cookies, I was like, but it made me think, I know there's somebody in town who does that fancy kind of cookie decorating, because I see them at baby showers and bridal showers and things like that. And I'm wondering if maybe we could talk to them about doing some sort of cookie decorating activity.
There you go.
So, I don't know.
I don't know the name of that. You know the name of the bakery?
I don't, but there's a thing at church, a women thing at church on Saturday. So I figured I might poll the women there and be like, does anybody know who it is? Who is it that buys these? Because I always see them here, but I don't know who's the one that does this. But I figured if we could get that,
The kids seem to love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Jonathan loved the basket week. That was his favorite thing all year.
Is that right?
I was like, cool.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe it was a blessing in disguise that they sent it to our families to find out that there's actually people that would be interested in that kind of thing, and maybe that'd be something we could pursue.
Who was it? What's someone did cake? That's a little more involved with cake decorating ones, the fondant that's been helping.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
It was I don't know fondant, right? You gotta roll it out.
Yeah. Modeling, almost like modeling clay, but for cookies is a little bit.
Also tastes better.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, any other thoughts or questions on activities? Okay. Important dates, reminders are all there. Healthy Futures logs for April are due May 1st, and then we'll pull the grand prize drawing. April 30th, we need all purchase order requests if anybody needs us to pay for anything else for them directly. And then also turning in all of your January through April reimbursements. The awesome thing is that we don't have to do encumbered funds anymore. Hooray! I think I mentioned it in the last month's meeting.
Throwing me off.
I know,
I can't
but it's
get
gonna be
that
so much easier because basically just everything you've purchased by April 30th, turn in. And then as soon as you pay for anything in May and June, turn it in right then. We need it by June 15th. You don't have to pre-encumber because it's gonna make way much less work on my side because I would have to like enter a purchase order for that receipt and do all this stuff in it. We'd have to wait to process any of those until all of this. So you're gonna be able to get your reimbursements back faster because of it. So just don't go like buying something from Amazon after April 30th because that has been taking a long time for them to ship and to get the shipped receipt and that kind of stuff. So if you need any Amazon purchases, do it before April 30th. Turn in those receipts. If they haven't shipped out on April 30th, I'll just put it on hold until you have the shipped version, but that will give enough time for us to get that, versus whatever. Q4 progress reports due May 15th.
It's earlier than normal.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were flexible.
If you need more time.
Because we just have to have everything closed down by June 30th, so, work with your teacher on it.
Be close.
What?
It'll
be
close.
Yeah. And it takes a little bit for the teachers to get everything reviewed, so, they're not gonna be able to be reviewing all of them that day or anything.
Just kidding.
High school graduation, kindergarten graduation. Yesterday was National Kindergarten Day, so I sent out the flyer about kindergarten graduation to all of our kindergarten families. June 15th, deadline for May and June internet receipts for reimbursement. All these deadlines are listed in our weekly newsletter and stuff too. So if anybody has questions about any of that, just let me know. This is our last book order this month. So anybody who's been earning Read with Raven rewards, get those submitted. Any other coupons from Christmas or Valentine's, I need all of that so I can get that order entered before the end of the month. Our next meetings are May 20th for both our regular monthly meeting and our Raven-wide one with Kim. They're kind of back to back on the same day. And that's what I've got on my list. Any questions, thoughts for extra anything or whatever?
I had one extra thingy.
Extra thing, go for it.
I had a parent ask about support for her fifth grader, that would be a sixth grader, for math. Wanting, she's not feeling as confident in teaching math and middle school math higher. So looking for, I gave her the usual tutoring things, and I also talked to Amelie Olin if she would be doing like a math class, but no. Or if there's a pod group, or if you have a curriculum that I know you like teaching textbooks. Okay. Okay. I told her I'd ask at this meeting, so.
There's like online stuff too, like I know Mr. D Math, he does online,
And we have
and they do live classes, and then they
Yeah.
have 2 different tutoring sessions per week. And it, like truly for the whole year, it's fairly affordable, and they just revamped their curriculum last year, so it's gamified now, so it's like game-based and fun
Right,
and
yeah.
interactive. So, cause I guess that was like the biggest complaints from previous years was it was a little bit boring.
Interesting.
So I'm looking at doing it next year. They're gonna be at the curriculum fair
Yes, I
also.
saw that.
And then Nicole, the math lady,
Oh, yeah.
is significantly less expensive, but she just does Saxon, but she's releasing this year where she's doing Math UC and as well as Bright Start math
Wow.
curriculums. So, and she's only $75 a year for the whole thing. So, those
Okay.
are some options that I've been personally looking at for my
That's awesome.
struggles also.
Okay.
That's why we bring these kind of questions to other parents.
And
Hey, what do you find works well?
And they're both at the curriculum fair, so you can
Yeah.
see them in person as well as I've talked to both of them over the phone, and they've been like their curriculum outreach people, and they've been wonderful to talk
Yeah.
to also.
Yeah.
So
I've had good luck with that. Mr. D Math too.
mhm.
So
I'm
Okay.
leaning towards that for Jonathan, and then I'm leaning towards Nicole and Matt Liddy for Matthew, but
Okay.
we'll see.
That's cool. Awesome. All right. I just popped over to see if we had anybody on Facebook Live watching, and I don't see that we do, so I'm gonna just spin the wheel with both of you as our potentials for our door prize for today. Let's see what we've got.
What grade was it again?
Going to sixth grade.
Going into sixth grade, so that could be either pre-algebra or Mr. DMAT has a preparing for pre-algebra course as well, which is lower to be helpful.
Would you like?
Heritage.
Totally. Sweet. Well, we appreciate everybody who is here, those who watch later on. We hope that you are able to find it valuable, and if you have any thoughts, questions, ideas, anything like that that we can put into practice, we would love to hear it. So, see you later. Stop recording.